Welcome to Grace. My name is Stephen and this is church. Admittedly, I probably have a different upbringing than yours because I was thinking about it this week and I spent the majority of my time in church, within the church walls or just outside the church. On Tuesdays, we go to the church and we play road hockey outside. On Wednesdays, I would go to Bible study. On Fridays, we went to youth group. On Saturdays, right outside the church, there was a local baseball diamond. We'd go play baseball. On Sunday mornings, I'd go to Sunday school. Then we went to church. And then after that, we'd have people over to our house. And then Sunday night, we went back to church. So guess where most of my friends came from? Church. You know, if I was to advocate a reason why people should join a faith community other than to give them purpose, it would be to develop friends. The friends that I have made from when I was really little, 6, 7 years old, are still my friends today. And some of these people I may not speak to for a solid year or a year and a half because, we've gotten married, had kids, moved to different parts, outside the city, further away. But they are like brothers. They are like brothers to me. It's unbelievable. Well, today we are reading, or I was reading this week, about this story of Job. Job has 3 friends. And Job goes through a difficult time in his life. And the friends give us a master class of what to do and what not to do. So I've listed 3 things here. Number 1, they show up. They show up. It's not easy to show up. It's one thing to call or one thing to text, but to show up, well, that's a challenge. And not only did they show up, they showed up for 7 days, just waiting patiently, mourning, just being with Job. When I go through a bad day, sometimes I get tempted to turn on a YouTube or turn on a sports game. I become all insular, all by myself. I don't really want anybody around. At least I say that. But if somebody was to come and just sit with me, have a coffee, not really talk about too much, but just feel my pain, and that's appreciated. That's a real friend. The second thing they do is the second good thing they do is they mourn with Job. It's not their loss, right? It's not their loss. Their lives are okay. But because Job is suffering, they are suffering too. Because Job is crying, they are crying too. Now those are good friends. But, we are all human. We all make mistakes. And sometimes we start speaking when maybe we should be silent. And sure enough, after the 7 days, this is where it all starts falling off the rails. Job's friends decide to speak up. And friend number 1 gives his advice. Hey, Job, maybe this is all happening because, there's like some sort of sin in your life. Like, I don't live with you. I don't know exactly what you do, but are you sure you're not sinning? Maybe you're sinning. Maybe if you just ask forgiveness and stop sinning, all those things would go away. Friend number 2. Okay, Job, it's not you that's sinning. What about your kids? Are your kids sinning? Maybe they're sinning. Maybe this is all a result of them sinning. Friend number 3. Okay, Job, you say you're not sinning, your kids aren't sinning, but let's just be honest. In comparison to God, we're all sinning. So therefore, all of this is happening. I love my friends in the church. They're like brothers. But there is a challenge. There's a challenge of being Christian or of any faith that we start to think to ourselves somehow or another. We make this easy equation that, if good things are happening, that means you're in God's will. And if bad things are happening, that means that you've done something wrong and you deserve it. That's not true. We don't see that in the Bible, at least definitely not spoken from Jesus himself. And I think many of you probably know some real good Christian people in your life which suffered things. They could have suffered job loss. They could have suffered physical loss. They just suffered. People in fires suffer. People in floods suffer. It's not necessary because of anything that they did. Well, let me share quickly about a story about Jesus. Jesus in John chapters 1 through 5. As he went along, he saw a man blind from his birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" "Neither this man nor his parents sinned," said Jesus. "But this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Visit your friends. If your friends are going through something difficult, visit them. If your friend is mourning, mourn with them. But really, really, really try your best to refrain from judging. We don't know why bad things happen to good people. They do. But that's not really our call. Our call is just to help those that need help. I want to share with you about 3 friends that come to the sharing place, each which show what it means to be a friend. The first person is somebody who used to come with a 102-year-old. This 102-year-old used to walk to the sharing place. Well, he's just not able to walk anymore. But when he used to walk to the sharing place, he wasn't walking because he necessarily needed groceries, or he wasn't walking because he necessarily needed food or he needed clothes, but he was walking to the sharing place because he needed company. He needed to be with other people. Well, he's no longer able to walk to the sharing place, but every single week, a lovely lady named Elizabeth makes sure that in her schedule, she walks over to his house, sits down with him, has coffee with him, lets him know that we have not forgotten him. That is a good friend. The second person is somebody that comes to the sharing place, or 2 men that come to the sharing place, and the one of them has had a surgery, and now the doctor says, you just can't lift anything over a certain amount of weight. And I think men were stubborn. We always think, it's okay, we can do it. But the other person, the other friend, Ray walks with this person, and Ray says, wait, hold on a second, not under my watch. I may be 70, but I can lift that 10 pounds. And I'm gonna lift that 10 pounds until the doctor says, you are ready to go. Ray, you are a good friend. And the third person is a group again, Michael and Danny. Michael and Danny come every single week to the sharing place. They are a breath of fresh air. And a couple of weeks ago, I missed them. And I thought to myself, well, they're here every week. What has happened? And then last week, I said, hey guys, I missed you. Where were you? And Danny told me, well, you know, we were walking here, and for some reason my heart didn't feel right, and I started breathing funny, and then all of a sudden I just remember collapsing. But Michael, he made sure to call the ambulance. Michael says to me, I wasn't going to die on my watch. Michael, you are a good friend. We need to be good friends. That's part of our responsibility, to look after others, to care for others. And that's exactly what we do both at our church and at the food bank. If you, for whatever reason, don't have as many friends in your life as you once did, please come out. Join our community, whether it's the church or the sharing place. We're happy to walk alongside you and share common themes with each other. This is Grace. My name is Stephen, and this is church.